I will take a 40,000-foot view, which will have implications for higher education, though I'm not going to speak directly to the matter. My view is after a century and a half, almost 2 centuries, there's only one man left standing, and that's Tocqueville. And this is a longer conversation. I think we need to abandon fusionism. I think we need to understand there's one theoretician left who can help us understand pretty much everything that we're faced with, and that's Tocqueville. And I thought Yuval last night did an extraordinary exposition of the Tocquevillian challenge that we're faced with here. If I can, some of you know your Plato, and Plato said only philosophy can save us. I think if you put it very bluntly, Tocqueville would say only institutions can save us. Only mediating institutions can save us. That is his wager. Through them we learn competence. Through them we learn how to rule and be ruled. Through them we learn self-interest rightly understood, and then Yuval's great points last night, we learn trust, we learn formation. One of my objections to identity politics is that it presupposes that we can know who we are in advance of encountering another person. I am this, you must understand me, and you must respect me. The Tocquevillian view is we don't yet know fully who we are. We only discover who we are through our dealings with one another in face-to-face associations. Our understanding of ourselves and our understanding of other people is always exceeded in that encounter. And the very sick thing about identity politics is it wants to preclude that engagement. It wants to say, no, I am this. I don't need you to confirm or disconfirm who I am. Identity politics really does make the Tocquevillian vision impossible. We are entering, we're in a period of an American awakening without God and without forgiveness. It's a deeply distorted Christian understanding. I tell my friends on the right that we must abandon the talk about progressivism, about multiculturalism, about cultural Marxism and socialism. This is not that. We have to let go of that language entirely, and we have to understand this is a new challenge. Why? Marxism never could win in America. We talk about the long, slow march through the institutions because Marxism is anathema to the American understanding. The American understanding is based on the idea of private property. Marxism attacked that. Marxism could never win. It was known as early as 1955 with Louis Hartz, the liberal tradition in America. Identity politics will win unless we push back against it. And the reason why identity politics will win is because the central category in American political experience is guilt. We are a religious people, and identity politics is using guilt to destroy all the American institutions that we have. What we have to understand about identity is that there's confusion about the term. If you mean by identity kind, that's fine. I'm a Phoenician. You're a this, well, fine, that's my kind. But that's not how identity politics is being used today. Identity politics is a relationship. It's a specification of a relationship between those who are pure and those who are stained. This is, currently we have one group that's considered to be the stained one, the white heterosexual male. I have no interest, needless to say, and nor should anyone in this room, in defending racial politics. But the problem with identity politics is that once one group is purged, you have to move on to another. I think what you see with the Karen meme with respect to white women, this is I think next. Some of you young people know exactly what I'm talking about. And I do believe that the black heterosexual male will be next. Transgression and innocence are theological categories. And the crisis of identity politics is a consequence of the collapse of the churches. There's a proximal cause here, which is, I think, the breakdown of the mainline churches and the softening of the Roman Catholic Church. The Pew Charitable Trust indicated that we now have a large group of people who are nuns. They have no religious affiliation. My argument is that, in point of fact, that's the wrong question, and they're looking in the wrong place. America is more concerned with transgression and innocence than they ever have been. It's not happening in the churches. The churches have gone soft. Young people are looking, as all people are looking, for a way to understand transgression and innocence. Once the church has provided that, now they no longer do, and identity politics gives young people and older people a moral economy on the basis of which they can make determinations about transgression and innocence. This is a deep perversity, and it's going to make it impossible for us to look at each other as decent human beings and to do the hard labor of working to build a world together. The Christian understanding is that there's one sufficient sacrifice who takes away the sins of the world. This is an extraordinary insight, And what you have now in this post-Christian age is not a return to secularism. It's not quite a return to paganism. It's got Christian overtones to it. But what we've done is we've retained the idea of transgression and innocence and the necessary sacrifice to take away the sins of the world, but in fact we've immanentized it. We've decided that, in fact, there's a group of people who have purged, if made the scapegoat, can take away the sins of the world. Every major action item in the Democratic Party today, from getting rid of capitalism to going to clean fossil fuels, from getting rid of the state, from getting rid of the family, from getting rid of the homophobic church, all of these are traced to the idea that these have their source in the white heterosexual male. And if we can just get rid of these things, we can return to an Edenic paradise. I'll just say one more thing. There's plenty more we can talk about. But I'll press in the direction of racial politics here. It is a supreme irony that Black America, which as it were, wore the crown of thorns during the Civil Rights era, is now used, first by feminists, then by the gay marriage lobby, and now finally by the transgender group. They're used as what I call the template of innocence for their own purported suffering. The consequence of this continual movement leftward, using Black America as the template, is the following. Now with the transgender movement, you've got the claim that if you believe that male and female are a natural category, you are guilty of heteronormativity. If you believe the church is a good thing, you are guilty of participating in a homophobic orientation or operation, institution. Martin Luther King believed that the state should supplement the mediating institutions, not be a substitute for them. The welfare state was the substitution of the mediating institutions. The Black family has known right from the beginning, from slavery, that it is through the family and through the church that they will endure this suffering. It turns out now that the transgender movement, which is using Black America as a template for its march forward, is trying to undermine those very institutions which Black America needs and all of us need. Black America is the canary in the coal mine with respect to the state of our institutions in America, which is why conservatives need to pay a great deal of attention to it. I've told Bob this, and I tell everyone I talk to, Black America today has more moral authority than it did during the Civil Rights era. Why? Because only Black America can stand up tomorrow and say, it is not, you may no longer use the Civil Rights movement and what happened to Black America prior to the 1960s. You can no longer use us as the moral basis of your movement. And that would stop identity politics dead in its tracks tomorrow. I'll stop with that.